So I want to welcome everybody. When I create these spaces, I consider this inviting you to my porch. It's an intimate, liminal space where you show up exactly as you are. And my intention for our time today is that each and every one of you listening live now and those listening later will hear something that evokes the wisdom within you. So whether you hold a question in your mind, whether you have just a general curiosity, I want you to hear, feel, or sense something within you that opens up another door of wisdom. So I'd like to take a moment and set the space. If you would all gently relax, close your eyes if that's comfortable. Place your hand on your heart if that is comfortable. And listen to my voice as you breathe deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. As I gather us in circle, those who are attending live and those watching later, now and far into the future. For every soul who is whispering for a source of wisdom, may this be the answer they are seeking. As we gather in this sacred circle, and I connect us energetically, there is a crystal in the middle. And that crystal is here to magnify everything that you will be experiencing here today. And that begins with the heart. As you tune into your heart, feel the depths of unconditional love that live within you. Open and expand and know this is the truest expression of your soul in this human being's life. And no, that does not negate the need to navigate the human experience. What it does is create a soft place to land, a point to orient back to. And knowing that you are held every moment of every day. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, feeling your feet on the floor, grounding into this very present moment. Allow yourself to silently acknowledge each and every being in our circle. As we come back into the present moment, anchor your feet firmly on the ground, feeling your connection to Gaia. Knowing that you are here for a reason. You are an intimate piece of the Earth's puzzle. and the vitality of your mission in its beauty and simplicity will be opened for you. Bringing your attention to your crown chakra. As you anchor in your intuitive connection to your guides and your soul. May this connection strengthen. May you hear the whispers of wisdom that come to you in whatever form of intuition you choose to receive it in. May you find play and joy in that which you receive, and continue to co-create your world with those unseen support teams that hold you gently and lovingly. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, knowing that your heart is your third point of these three anchors. The feet to the ground, the crown to the universe, and the heart which unites all. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, becoming aware of your current surroundings. When you are ready, gently flutter the eyes open. So welcome. I know you're here because of curiosity, or perhaps you're searching. And I know for me, I was wondering why life keeps repeating the same lessons. And some of you may be here simply because you got that nudge from your soul that said, come. Whatever your reason, I'm so glad that you're here. There's nothing you need to prove, nothing you need to understand perfectly, nothing you need to believe. My hope is that something awakens within you, that you leave remembering yourself just a little more than when you arrived. So today, we're going to explore what happens when you understand the design of your soul. Your life isn't random. And today, we're going to explore one way to embrace the design of your soul, because when you do, your level of awareness of what is available to you, what is opening up into your world, changes. You begin to see things through different lenses. You begin to experience things with a level of curiosity that opens doors, that opens windows that you may not have seen before. So I want to start with a few questions. And you can either type in the chat your answer, or you can raise your hand if you identify with these states. How many of you, okay, I'm just silently laughing at myself. How many of you have noticed the same lesson showing up, just wearing different clothes? I know Margot was like, yes, Yes. So many times, right? It's like, what? I've been here. I've done this. I thought I was finished. Okay. How many of you have ever felt there's more to life, but just cannot explain what more is? I think I've done that since I was a child. I think it is my opinion. And yeah, me too, Margot, right? I want to learn the lesson so that, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to explain to you the construct of how to look at those lessons. I think every human is hardwired for more. I think we're all hardwired to know intuitively, instinctively within our soul, and not everybody acknowledges this, right? Not everybody is ready to acknowledge this, but it is within every single human on this planet, this yearning for more, this yearning for more self-realized, more, something more authentic to me, something more authentic to you. Your life isn't random. Before you took your first breath, your soul designed so much about your life, and that's what we're going to explore today. I also believe, and I was sharing this with Dina earlier, and it was reaffirmed through a random YouTube that I would generally never listen to because it was held by many white men. I love you, Charlie. That was no insult to white men at all, but it was just more businessy and less um, energetically clear for me. We are here to remember love. And your soul contract simply reveals the beautiful way in which your soul chose to express that love in this lifetime. Now, and actually, I want to introduce somebody to you, somebody who's very important to me. I'm going to share my screen very briefly. As soon as I find, there we go. There it is. All right. Can you see that? This is Rowan. Yeah. Rowan is my dog. And yes, Rowan also has a soul contract. And when I knew that I was going to be sharing about soul contracts, I originally asked Charlie. Charlie and I had a conversation. Can I use you as my guinea pig? And I knew there was another solution. I didn't know what the solution was literally until 2 days ago. And I understood that Rowan is going to be my example of what a soul contract is. So I want to read you just a small piece of Rowan's soul contract. When you receive a soul contract, you receive a love letter. And there are anywhere between 6 and 10 pages. And at the very end, there's an integration summary. So I'm going to read you a little bit of that. The love that lives on the porch. Remember this, Rowan. Your soul did not come here to change the world through words. It came to change hearts through unconditional love. As we step back and look at the beautiful design of your soul contract, one truth shines through every number, every lesson, and every gift. Love has always been your language. Your physical karma of 7 teaches the quiet wisdom of presence. Your physical talents of 20 allow you to hear what the hearts cannot say. Your physical goals of 9 invite you to love each day as though it were entirely new. Your spiritual karma of 8 reminds others that true strength is unwavering compassion. Your spiritual talents of 16 awaken hearts through stillness rather than words. Your spiritual goals of 5 celebrate the sacredness of joy, curiosity, and delight. And your soul destiny of 11, it explains all of these gifts come together so effortlessly because you are the keeper of the porch. Not because you own a place, because you create one. Everywhere you go, people feel safer, a little calmer, a little more loved. And without realizing it, they begin to soften. Their breathing slows. Their shoulders relax. Their hearts remember. This is not something you do. It is something you are. Your soul chose to express unconditional love in one of its purest forms. And I know we're talking about a dog, but this applies to people too. It's not the thing you do, it is who you are. If Rowan's soul can be described with this much tenderness, imagine what your soul has waiting for you. So, how is this possible? I want to explain some of the mechanics of a soul contract without getting bogged down in them. Let me share my screen again. What you are looking at is the soul contract chart. And this is one way, one language for understanding the soul. It was brought in through channel by Frank Alper in the 1980s. He channeled Moses. It isn't the soul itself, it is a map. It is a map of the human journey. It is a compassionate guide that allows you to recognize what your soul has been expressing to you all along. So at the very top, you'll see Rowan's name. Under each letter is a number. That number is from 1 to 22, and it is in alignment with the Hebrew alphabet. Each number has a resonance, has a signature. And it has an essence that it is communicating in that specific area. Numerology has been around for thousands upon thousands of years. And it started in the stars. When we look at this, we see the Star of David. There's a triangle pointing down that talks about all the physical things that are communicated in this chart. The triangle pointing up is all of the spiritual. And those circle your soul's destiny in this life. There are astrology correlations. There are planetary influences for each single number. There are body correspondences. So a 7 will mean your left ear. So if you've ever wondered why that right ankle or that left ear or your thumb doesn't operate the same way as the rest of you, then this will give you some context as to why. Typically, that is your signal that something wants your attention. There are also keywords. There are 4 categories that hold keywords that define the journey, that define the characteristics of that number. There's also sigils. These were also channeled. And for example, in our physical karma right here, it's a double 7, which means not only do I want you to learn what a 7 is, I want you to really learn what the 7 experience is in physical karma in this life. And that sigil is 2 circles with a bridge above and a bridge below. You can use that sigil to meditate. You can put it in a space that honors whatever that represents to you. It is a powerful sigil that gives off the energy of 7. There are times where you'll have a 20 and a 2. You'll have 2 different numbers, a 10 and a 1. I have that a few times. A 20 has its own vibration, has its own inherent wisdom. The 2 has its own inherent wisdom. There's also an 11 too, but they're a little bit different. So when you understand the characteristics of 20 and you understand the characteristics of 2 and you understand how they interplay in your life, then you begin to understand the wisdom of the physical talents. Similar to the sigils. These sigils are specific to those numbers. And they have meaning. And if you choose to get a soul contract reading, I will share what those meanings are. There is also qualities that specific numbers have. For example, 7 is very much the mother energy. It's very much Mother Mary. It is unconditional love. It is absolutely the person who opens their heart. Now, when unconditional love lands in karma and you don't honor it or it presents as a challenge, it means that every time you give love, it must be unconditional. Otherwise, it will become a lesson. It will become an opportunity to grow deeper into the unconditional love. Does that make sense? If you, if your karma has been vilified in my opinion, right? Karma is simply the playground in which opportunities arise for you to become wiser. Because the bottom line is, we don't become wiser through the easy lessons. We just don't. We don't pay attention to them. It's the hard things that we have to really give our attention to that create the fabric of our wisdom. There's also gateways, there's directions, there's initiations, there's specific channel comments. Each single number in this 1 through 22 construct has its own vibration. There's also double letters. A double letter is where somebody has come in and says, I'm going to experience the extreme. Poverty to wealth, life to death, or death to life. And let me present another perspective that I think is very important. because this is not only about you, right? This is your chart, but everything that we're going to talk about contributes to your soul destiny. Your soul destiny is why you're here. It's that yearning that's been sitting inside of you your whole life, pulling you forward and saying, come in this direction. I know it looks hard. I know it looks different. I know it's not what everybody tells you you're supposed to be doing, but come in this direction, because here is where you can be your authentic self. And I'm not talking about your job, you guys. You want to keep your job, keep your job. What I'm talking about is the essence of your being. And the importance isn't in memorizing this. It's in understanding that every single piece contributes a remarkably rich conversation about your soul. Karma doesn't make you lovable. Talents aren't what make you valuable. Goals aren't what make you successful. They simply reveal the beauty of this tapestry of how your soul is choosing to express love and evolve. So every soul contract answers 7 incredibly beautiful questions. Physical karma. What am I here to refine in the human experience? Physical talents. What gifts did I bring in to help me refine my physical karma? Physical goals. What is the evidence that I will be provided that shows that I'm living it? These are benchmarks for those of you who have a corporate background, which is me. These are benchmarks. These are check, done, and done well. Thank you very much. um, spiritual karma. What is my soul remembering? I have channeled my whole life. I've done it publicly for 6 years. Here's what I know as fact. We have multiple lives. We have parallel existences in other dimensions, other places, other times, other universes, blah, blah, blah. But there's a single theme that runs through all of our incarnations, and that is this. We have a mission. My mission is to support the evolution of humanity in whatever way possible. My training ground was a really dysfunctional upbringing. 30 years in corporate America, in and out and in and out, successful on the executive team. I did well, but was it the truest expression of my soul? Yes, because I needed to have those experiences to be able to be confident enough to say, yeah, I'm an intuitive channel. Who do you want to talk to? Buddha? Mother Mary? I literally, I can tune in to anybody. Your guides, your soul. So, spiritual karma. What is my soul remembering through this human existence? Spiritual talents. How does my soul naturally serve? And I guarantee there's a piece of love somewhere in there. Spiritual goals. How is my soul invited to expand? Because every time you hit that benchmark on the spiritual level, you're going to elevate that which you are bringing to the human evolution on this planet. Because that's why we're all here. Every single one of us. Soul destiny. What becomes possible when this all comes together? And what is the unique frequency through which I express all of this? It's a profound system. I've spent the last year working with people all over the world, delivering this to them, sharing it, learning it, working with my guides to understand more, because there are two statements that are made every time I share a soul contract. The first one is, I don't think I've been seen in my entirety like this ever before. People feel validated. They feel seen. They identify with every part of their chart. Number two, and this is the one that I've been spent the last year trying to figure out, and it wasn't easy, but it was a journey. Now what? Now that I have this information, what do I do with it? What do I do with it? I'm going to digress just a little bit because I didn't share one other point that I do want to share about the soul contract. And to do that, I'm going to show you my own chart. Yeah. This is my chart. And if you'll notice, there's a lot of repeating numbers. It's almost like my soul said, oh, yeah, what I said, I really meant that. Oh, I really, really meant that. No, you're not taking any other direction but that one. You will see that in physical karma and soul destiny, I have an 8-8. Yeah, I know. That's a whole thing. It just is. But by having 4 of the same numbers, and I've got that in my 8s, and I've got that in my 6s, spiritual goals, spiritual talents. Those are my dominant vibrations. So that's like somebody gave you an extra helping of mashed potatoes and gravy. So I have 2 helpings of that, and I have it for a reason. Let me also show you the beauty of my chart, why I said, no, the universe really was serious when they want me to do this. My physical talents and physical goals are identical. They're 10-1. 10-1s are all about realizing God on earth. God, universe, spirit, soul, whatever you want, whatever nomenclature you want to use. Spiritual talents and spiritual goals are all about creatively expressing so that other people are empowered by the ideas that I receive. It's a lot, and it's great. So there is inherent wisdom to every single chart. And I want to share a story, and I put it in my email. Some of you may have read it. And this story is about Dawn. Yes, Charlie, it's your Dawn. So Dawn received a reading from me about a year ago. And we keep in touch sporadically. She's over in Ireland, and she's just an incredibly special human being. And she sent me an email about a week and a half ago. And I thought it was fascinating that it was at the time that I had agreed to do this free workshop. And she said that her life had become very challenging. And so when she went to bed, she said, I need help. Throw me a bone, give me some information. And that morning she woke up and she heard from her guides, go look at your soul's contract. And as a person who journals all the time, she had multiple journals, but she pulled the exact journal, turned to the exact page to read through her soul contract notes. And her comment to me was, reading them, I'm going to read it. Reading them put me right back in the driving seat of what is true and really important in my life. A courageous life. A courageous life. So when she sent that, I knew that I wanted to gift her with the love letter, because my reports, I've always given reports because I need to review things. It's the corporate side of me. I want to go through everything. So I sent, the report has evolved, and I now call it a love letter from your soul. This is her response after receiving the love letter. Your soul love letter will really help to hold me quietly where I belong within, simply being me. I can hardly tell you the enormity of this very detailed gift from you to me. I will print it out and absorb this truth in a deeper, more contented with me way. This isn't something you do once. This is something where you receive the information and it becomes a navigation tool. It becomes a way for you to step into your life in a more intentional way, in a way that puts you more firmly in the driver's seat. And for those of you, and I know Charlie, for example, I keep calling on you. Sorry, Charlie. I love you. You know I do. Um, Charlie's had a reading from somebody else. But with this context, Charlie can go back and have perspective on what he learned in a new way. My goal is not, my goal is that you hear exactly what you need to hear, that you receive exactly what you need to receive for your evolution. Because the bottom line is, it's yours. Now, I don't need you to remember every number. You don't even have to remember everything I've shared. And yes, I will be sending out the recording later. I want you to hear one thing that to me is very important. Your life isn't random. Your soul has never forgotten who you are. It's simply waiting for you to remember. And whether it's me and this methodology or something else you come across, I want to strongly encourage you to open yourself up to know what it is that is your next step. Because I guarantee everyone here present now and everyone listening later is going to be changed. There's an energetic code that each of you have received that have awakened something in you. And over the next couple of days, you're going to know what that next step is. You're going to see what is essential for your evolution. What is the way for you to live the life that you desire, the life that you deserve? And for me, I'm so honored to be able to do this work. I'm so honored that I got chosen to be the conduit for the information. There's always room on the porch. Reach out anytime. My role is not to tell you who you are. My role is to help you remember who you are for yourself. And I help people come home to themselves, because people who are at home within themselves become places of peace for others. And for me, that is the most sustainable way to change this world. So there's two ways that you can step into this work. You can get a soul chart reading, and then on August 5th, I'll be starting an 8-week class called Soul Contract Integration, where we go through every single point of that triangle and we talk about what that means in your life. These are small, intimate groups. We don't get into the 20, 30, 40, 50 people. This is about you and your experience. And here's what I know after having run groups for a long time. The people who come together in the group are always the people that need to support each other. They're always the right people. And when we start talking about the specificity of the chart, what people share is exactly what somebody else needs to hear. That's just how it works. This whole thing, this whole design, your soul, that's why I said, if not me, there's somebody else. But look, keep looking. You'll know. You'll feel the draw. You'll feel the, yeah, I want to get my soul chart done. Or, that doesn't resonate. And then something else will show up because your soul will not stop inviting you to learn who you are. And like I said, I'm not asking you to quit your job. Don't do that. Your job has nothing to do with this. And in fact, I guarantee that you're in the job you're meant to be in. And it's cultivating all of the talents and opportunities to navigate your karma. I happen to coach a number of executives all over the world, whether they're CEOs or on the executive team. This is just as relevant to them as it is to anyone else. They are no more important and they are no different. I promise you. So, you have listened to me talk for almost 15 minutes, 50 minutes. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, Margot.
So if you do get a soul reading, do you do you take us through the whole model, I assume, and then do we get the love letter, or is that okay?
Yeah. So when you receive a soul chart, you get the recording of our conversation. You get a summary transcript, AI summary transcript, um, as well as the love letter.
Nice.
Yeah, I know it is. I'm very ADHD, so I need multiple sources of information before things start to sink in. So yes, yeah. And then if you choose to take the next step and go into the integration, you'll also receive small reports about each of the aspects and what it means for you. What are your challenges? What are your opportunities? How to best harness those. And those are the areas that we'll focus in the integration course.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other questions? It's a lot of information and it's
I
good.
I have like a comment, or maybe there's a question in here, but like looking at the, we'll call it the Star of David, the Merkabah, like to me that just kind of makes my eyes roll back in my head because I don't have a foundation of like what this means. And for me, the chart and the written, because like that really supported me in a different way.
Yeah.
And to be able to read it, and then when you have those recurring things, those lessons, like why does it keeps I used to say I keep dating the same man in a different body, like it's the same lesson that I needed to learn in relationship. And like just reading it and being able to go back to it is, to me, that was visually more my language than
Yeah.
the
The chart
the
itself.
fancy diagram. Yeah, which is cool now that I understand it a little better. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that was.
I tend to be big picture as well. And to get granular isn't my jam. I'm not the detail person, but the love letter, the construct that details out each aspect for you in writing, yeah, for me, I still go back to mine all the time. Josie, did you have a question?
I
Hi.
I do. I didn't know if it was to put my hand or I to, what is the difference between a reading with the gene keys
Yeah,
that is soul also,
yeah,
with what you offer? I am doing I'm doing my homework. Um, I haven't done the test. Yeah, I'm being tested and I understand that.
yeah,
I've grown tremendously. And I think I'm in the world. This is what I want. I want to be surrounded by people
yeah,
that that are there or that understand that or that there is work for that, remembering who we are. Um,
yeah,
so I guess it's for me, I like a toolbox. I like my tools. I like yeah. And I guess that's what I'm trying to um I don't want too many of them. You know how we always have our preferred tool I go back to and use all the time in the garden. So it's kind of tried to not be spread out too much. So
yeah. No,
um,
that's a brilliant question. So the gene keys are brilliant. They're amazing. And what's the one that Lori does? Human design. That's
oh,
the other one. There are multiple ways to get at the same information. The key is to understand which one's for you. My experience of the gene keys and human design is it's vast in its complexity. And like I said, I'm a bottom line gal. There's a reason I was on the executive team. I'm not good at the detail. I'm great at leading a team and getting everybody going in the same direction. And that's why for the last year, I've been answering the question, what now? Okay, great, nice information. But what do I do with it? How do I make this part of my life? How do I create tools within the structure? So for me, that's the key. If for you, Gene Keys is giving you the answers as to what now or how to harness each of those predictives that they've assigned based on your information, then that might be your answer. I have a meditation, and it's interesting. I shared it on my Oracle card channeled messages on YouTube a couple of days ago, but I'll offer you this. The meditation that I do when I'm in an either or situation is I go into meditation, I center and I ground, and I picture my optimal timeline unfolding in front of me. Could be a golden brick road. It could be a field of stars. Whatever is could be a forest path. And then I hold in this hand one option. I hold in this hand the other. And I take a step to the left to feel how that feels in my body. Does that feel, how does it feel? And then I just benchmark. Okay, that's how it feels. Good. And then I come back, center ground, optimize, step again. How does this one feel? Now, typically, and by the way, I had a friend get married using this. They've been married 19 years. So yay them, right? So one of a couple of things will happen. You'll know immediately, yes, I want to look at this. Yes, I need to get this information. Thank you, Margot. Or you won't, there won't be anything readily apparent. That simply means you don't have enough information. So start asking questions, start getting curious. The other thing it could be is neither one is optimal for you. And again, that just means start asking questions. See what shows up in your world, because your guides and your team and your soul are going to respond to exactly what you're doing. So the moment you do that, if you don't get a clear answer, they're going to begin to bring you information so that you are pointed in the direction that is optimal for you. The other piece is it could be free will, could be do both, could be explore it. So does that help a little bit?
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm very curious. So I do like that. And I am a detail. Yeah. Lots of details.
Perfect.
Well, depends what it's for. It's good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But you knew I had a question.
I did know you had to go.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I started typing it and then I went, no, I don't want to type it. I'd rather talk. That, yeah, I'm not fast enough on the computer. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for asking. Anybody else have questions? Anything else I can address and while we have some time together?
Do you have the timing worked out? I know the soul integration or soul contract integration starts August 5th.
Yeah.
And is that like an hour, 90 minutes? Like, how does that play?
It'll be 9 a.m. Pacific, same time as we did today. And it'll be an hour unless we get an hour to an hour and a half. And here's why I say that. I would rather go over and make sure we are complete than to say, nope, now it's done. Click, we're done. So plan for 75 minutes is what I tell everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good detail. See? Told ya.
I'm a detail person.
I know you are. You're the best, Nina. All right. Email me if you have other questions. Email me if you want to set up a reading, get more information. Otherwise, I'm going to close our circle. I'm going to thank you from the fullness of my heart for being here with us today, for sharing yourself with me. And that includes everybody who watches later. Gently close your eyes as with love, everybody moves into a space of sovereignty, autonomy, and authority over their own energy as we move forward into our day. We know we go a little wiser, filled with a little more love, and a little more laughter. And so it is. I release the circle.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you, everyone. Good to see you. Bye, guys.